Hello Internet, Mike Bartolini here with another character creator episode. It's been a while since I've done one of these. I've done them for Dungeons and Dragons, for Call of Cthulhu, and for Hunter. This episode, I'm going to talk about Alien from FRIA Publishing. Now, you can take a quick look. You see that on the video that I've already filled out a character sheet. But I'm going to walk you through. And that's only because this game, there's not a lot of like attributes and skills or anything like that, but your items and your talents and all that make it so that you can improve those skills. I'm just going to walk you through it. You can go online onto the FRIA Publishing website and get your own copy of this. And obviously you will need to pick up a copy of the rules for yourself so that you can fill this out, because there's no easy way to do this. Like I said, this is the Alien RPG from FRIA Publishing. We'll get into it. Okay. Create a character. Whether it's this or this is being Roll20, or another either pen and paper or a spreadsheet where you fill it out and it fills in fields for you. The first thing you're going to do is create the character's name. I'm going to use the same name for this character that I use for just about everybody. Sam Pell. And keeping with that tradition of using the same character, he's going to be the same class. He's going to be in the medical field. In this case, a medic. When in the core book, there are a list of careers that you can pick. One of them is medic. It'd be nice if, as time goes on, more careers get added, civilian-wise. FRIA has released a Colonial Marines book to expand this game out, and that book does offer a little bit more in the ways of incorporating Colonial Marines into the game, but nothing so much in the field, this class of players. So a specialized medic would, of course, be enjoyed by Mr. Pell, but medic is going to suffice. First thing you want to do is some descriptors. Personal agenda. You can either create your own agenda, or you can pick one that is provided in the core rulebook. Now, this one, you are addicted to a strong painkiller. Protect your stash and your secret. That came out of the book. I mean, it is all this stuff, aside from one thing, came out of the book. Relationships. Buddies, I don't have a buddy listed because when you play this game, PC, other PC that you and another player agree to be buddies. Rivals. Now, your rival is someone who opposes you and in some way, either what they do or what they've done in the past. It can be a PC that you just don't get along with whatsoever, or it can be an NPC. In this instance, I created an NPC, Dr. Tor Pichek. I don't know where that name came from. I just sort of randomly pulled it out of my head. And this is good because I can give that name to the game mother and to incorporate into my backstory, my personal backstory, or Sam's personal backstory. So medic talents you can take. Now, when you start the game, your first time playing, you get one talent based on, and it's a talent that you can that's from your career. Now there are options to pick up a second talent and more, based on what the GM decides. The GM might say, take a second talent, and there's a category of talents that are not career specific. Talent where it might make you more talented at certain skills, or might increase an attribute, that sort of thing. And those are all things that can be increased with experience points as well. I'm not going to get too much into the experience points, but you see it down here. If you want to learn more about experience points and what gets you experience points and what you can spend experience points on and how much things cost in experience points, pick up the core rulebook. At least the PDF. So once you have a talent, you're gonna get some more items. Okay. So, why is the scroller keep going? Okay. You're gonna have a signature item, which is gonna be something personal. It could be a photograph, some sort of trinket that your character keeps on them. Sort of remind them of the past. Doesn't really serve much. It won't serve a game function, but it does help with, your character, making them unique. You're going to have tiny items, which are items that are so small that while they have some sort of, they have a effect on the game. You can use them. They're not going to add to the encumbrance. So, like, for example, Sam has 4 doses of an experimental drug on him. Why does he have those? Who knows? But his career also gives and the core rulebook goes into details on what gear you can, how to categorize gear on your character sheet based on how big of an item it is. He's a doctor, so his got some more specific items, and one of the things I wanted him to aid. It's surgical kit fits that description. It's a light item, which means it only takes up half of a gear slot. So that means, and for your encumbrance, I have it listed here. Okay, encumbrance of 6. That's twice your strength. My strength modifier is 3, so I can carry up to 6 gear items worth of being encumbered. There are times when you're playing where you can carry double your encumbrance for a short period of time, taking a few penalties. So you see here, certainly because it's a light one, it counts for half of the space. So I would be able to carry up to 6 slots worth. So that could be 12 small items. Almost unlimited number of tiny items. But the GM can obviously limit those as he or she sees fit. But your career choice just helps you decide not only what gear you carry, being for this character, it's the kit and the 4 doses of drugs, but it also tells you how much cash you get. For medic, it's 1d6 times 100 cash. So I rolled a 3 times 100 is $300 in cash. Now that cash I can use to buy additional gear so that he doesn't just have a surgical kit with him. But it's just an example, so I'm not really going into it too much. Okay, so now here, the center of the character sheet, your biggest thing are your attributes and your skills. Now you have your 4 core attributes: strength, wit, empathy, and agility. Strength, physical, your power, how heavier machines and keeping going. Mental strength, your ability to see something or perform a task with a computer system and get through it. You have empathy, your ability to just understand how someone's feeling, either mentally or physically, and help them or control them. Basically, talk them into doing something that you want them to do. Then agility is sort of, if you were to compare this to like D&D, your dex bonus. Your ability to use weapons with a range increment. Your ability to move under pressure or under duress. And your ability to deftly pilot a ship. So, when you're making a roll, say I'm going to make a stamina roll. Okay? No, nothing else is bonus-wise. You roll 2 dice for the stamina. You also roll 3 dice for the strength. So you would roll 5 dice. And let me see if I can get this up. Stamina. No bonuses, so. Now look at it, I rolled 5 dice. In Alien, and in many games, not all games, but in some games, you're rolling d6s. Or 6-sided dice. In Alien, only the 6 is a success. So, and you have to get at least 1 success to make a successful roll. The more dice you roll, the higher chance you have of success. This time, for stamina, I got 1 success. So, whatever I was doing that required me to roll stamina, I succeeded at. Now, if I was to get multiples successes, I'd be able to do it with a little bit of a flourish, or do something a little extra, or in some cases, I do it so well, I can succeed on a future stamina roll automatically. But that's all dependent on the GM and the scenario that you're playing. Now, for medical aid, which is like Sam's best skill, I would roll 3 dice for medical aid and 5 dice for the empathy, so total 8 dice. But because he has a surgery kit, he also gets a +2 bonus. So I get a 2 modifier, so a roll of 10 dice. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got rolled 10 dice, got 3 successes. So not only did I succeed in rolling medical, but I succeeded well. Now, if he's a smart person, which I would probably consider, since he's a doctor, probably can say that he is. He would want to be able to get an automatic success on a future roll. Doesn't need to do it special. I mean, he succeeded, so whatever injury he was trying to help, he did successfully. When you are creating the character, you get 14 points to put in attributes. Minimum 2, maximum 4 per attribute points. And this number can, of course, be increased with experience. There are a few caveats to this roll. You'll see here, he's got a 5 in empathy. Because every career has a attribute that's sort of like a specific attribute that's for that class. And for that attribute, you can put 5 in to start off with. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 14 points. When you're doing skills, you have 10 points that you can put into skills. I wanted the highest. You can only do a maximum of 3 points in any skill. So I wanted to do 3 in medical, 2 in manipulation, 1 in command. Because this empathy is my career core skill attribute. So I wanted to put most of the points in empathy. I put a single point in mobility here. There's a single point in survival on this side. There's 2 points in stamina. Now, you can always, even if, say, I'm in a fight, if I need to roll close combat, obviously I don't have any points in this skill, so I would just end up rolling the 3 attribute points. So close combat, none. I still managed to get a success. Just rolling the 3 dice. So, there are some other things on the sheet. But it's all, you need to have the core rulebook to understand it. Health, see up here, is equal to your strength. So 3 points of strength, 3 points of health. Stress you get as the game goes on. Certain tasks, certain things that you see cause stress. So that number increases. And the more that it increases, you're not only going to have more dice, but you're going to be more prone to doing something in error. So for every stress, let's say if I was to have just 1 stress dice, I'm just rolling 1. Say I just have 1 stress, and I'm gonna roll a command. I'm gonna roll something different every time. Now see, I rolled 5, 6 regular dice, 6 of the black dice, because that's how many dice I would get normally, and I rolled 1 stress dice. Now, if this stress dice came up as a fail, as I failed this roll, then I would have to roll on the stress table, which is in the core rulebook. A few levels of stress isn't gonna, chances are not gonna really mean a lot, but as you get more and more stressed out, once you do more stress, it's gonna be bad for you. Radiation, something you get exposed to as the game goes on. Critical injuries. You drop below 0 HP, you're rolling critical injuries. You're gonna roll for this. I don't have examples in here because Sam's not dead. You have conditions covered in the core rulebook. Starving, dehydrated, exhausted, and freezing. That's going to be dependent on the specific situation. And what happens if you're experiencing these, how those affect what you're doing, how you're playing. Like, if you're dehydrated, what do you have to roll? And what is it doing to your body? Consumables are things that you get from, like, a spacesuit or power, power. Some of it's pretty self-explanatory what it is. When a consumable reaches 0, you're out of it. There's no more. Say you have an air mask on. You start off with 4 consumables. you have to roll for that consumable, either on a regular basis as described in the core rulebook, or when completing certain tasks, you might have to roll for a consumable. And failing that roll costs you a certain amount of consumable points. So if I started with 4, used and had to roll for my air consumption, failed horribly, there's a chance I can lose all my air. And then I would be having to roll for that, for not being able to breathe. And that can result in my death, in Sam's death. All that's covered in the core rulebook. Weapons, armor, same thing, covered in the core rulebook. Be sure to pick it up if you're interested. While I'm not entirely sure what the quick start guide has in it, you can feel free to pick that up as well. I'm not sure it's how detailed the core rulebook gets, or the quick start rule gets. But if you're sort of starting out in a game, if that game has a quick start rulebook, it's usually recommended. Just, get the quick start rulebook. Sometimes it's free, at least the PDF is free. Sometimes you might have to pay for it, but it's just a couple dollars. So that's basically it. If you have questions, you can send them my way, or you can contact Freely Publishing directly. I'll put a link to their website in the description. So this is the Roll20 version of the character sheet. So I hope that this does help you when you're playing the game, for this game. So thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, comment below if there's a game you want me to cover. I'll see if I can. But aside from that, thank you and have a great day.